Hello friends, welcome back to my video sessions, software engineering. Uh, we have completed our the model principles, but into that in the roof of these headings, we have to complete two more principles that are requirement principles and designing principles. Just take a look what we have to going to start our new topic, that is in previous lectures we have completed, that is modeling principles. In modeling principles we discuss about the 10 principles in a great details. Likewise, I'm going to start a new principle that are the requirement modeling principles. Okay, this is again the part of the modeling principle, that is the requirements. We have already discussed about the requirements, what are the requirements, how the requirements can be useful in our projects, and how the requirements should be gathered from the customers, and what are the different ways to require all the informations from the users or as stakeholders or the end users. According to that requirements, we have to specify each and every points that are the primary requirements, secondary and ternary, and we have to work with the core principles first, and as soon as possible we have to deploy this all the projects or the whatever you are working with model that should be deployed. Likewise, in the same manner we have to discuss some principles that are the five principles requirements modeling principles. Just take a look what new things are added in these principles. No new things, just take a look out. We have already discussed each and every principles in previous models and the principles. The first principle, the information domain of a problem must be represented and understood. Yes, of course, whatever the projects you are working with it, just you need to know each and every points or each and every requirements or each and every problems facing the customer or the end user, so that you can work with it in a proper manner. That means domain is nothing but the area, whatever the project you are working, that area should be understood, you and your colleagues or the developers while they were working with the problems. The information domain encompasses the data that flow. You should know the flow into the system, end users views and the system views and external devices. The data that flow out of the system via the user interface, network interface, reports, graphics, and each and everything, and the data stores that collects and organize persistent data objects, data that are maintained permanently. What are the different inputs and how the inputs are working, and what should be the output of the given input through the customers or end user, that should be understood to the customer, sorry, developer, so that he can work in a progressive manner or effective manner. Okay, the I hope you understood the first problem or the principle, that is you should understood each and every problems, or like what are which faces by the end user, so that you can provide them a great solution through your software. Okay, the next principle, the functions that the software perform must be defined. Whatever functions you are working or whatever functions you are going to provide to the customer, that should be perfectly defined or understood to the user also and to the developer also. Okay, the software functions provide direct benefit to the end user, and also provides internal supports for those features that are user visible. Some functions transfer data flow into the system. In other cases, the function effects some levels of control over the internal software processing or external system elements. Functions can be described at many different levels of abstraction, ranging from a general statements of a purpose to a detailed descriptions of the processing elements that must be invoked. That means whatever functions you are going to define, that should be more transparent, clear to the user as well as a developer. And the functions are nothing but simply a task, or the way you are providing uh, to the customer. to solving a problem. Okay, that should be a transparent, that should be a more realistic to the problem, or problem, whatever the problem is there, that the solution should be provided in a proper way through the functions. Okay, the next principle is the behavior of the software as a concern consequences of external events must be represented. Behavior is again the nothing but the functions which working with a proper manner and providing a solution or the output as per the given input. That is nothing but a behavior. Behavior is a kind of a statements which gives you a proper solution of your problem. Okay, the behavior of computer software is driven by the internet interactions with the external environments. Whatever the input you are providing to the system, and that inputs is working internally and providing you the output, that should be a problem solving. Okay, input provided by the end user control that data provided by the external system, or a monitoring data collected over the network, all cases or causes the software to behave in a specific way. Specific in the way in means as per the required informations is provided to the system, it should gives a proper solution at the end user, proper solution or desired solution. Okay, whatever he desire as per the calculations or whatever the business logics you are using while developing a coding or designing, that should be more effectively providing the result to the end user. Okay, that is nothing but a behavior. The next one is a principle for the modeling that depict information, functions, and behavior must be a partitions in the manner that uncover details in the layer or hierarchical fashion. Yes, whatever you are working with the software or the working with the requirement, that should be classified into functions, behaviors, or the all the information should be organized and well organized, so that you are not going to face any kind of problems while working with your project or performing any kind of task. Okay, requirement modeling is the first step in software engineering problem solving. Yeah, requirement modeling is nothing but organizing all the requirements, specify each and every point whatever the customer say to you, that which requires a core part, that it allow you to better understand the problem and establish the basics of all the solutions design. Okay, no one is going to face any kind of problem while you are working with a specific or reliance or the transparent functions or the desire requirements. Complex problems are difficult to solve in the entirely. Okay, yes, of course the problems are the bigger, cannot solve in a minute, so you have to bifurcate each and every problem in a small segment, so that a small segment can be solved, and eventually you can achieve your complex problems solution. For this reason, you should use the divide and conquer strategies. As per our discussions or in previous sections, we have already discussed about the divide and conquer strategies. A large complex problem is divided into sub problems until each sub problem is relatively easy to understand. This concept is called as a partitioning or segment, whatever we call it. Just separations of the concerns and is key strategies in a requirement model. Whatever you are facing any kind of complex problem or any kind of requirement, you have to organize in a proper way to in a granular way, or you should be go in the deep way or a detailed way, or that should be classified in a proper manner, organized in more well manner, uh, so that you can easily work with it. And once you got each and every problem understood in proper way, you can provide any kind of solution to that. Okay, so the goal of this principle is divide and conquer, as we have already discussed. Uh, Next principle is the analysis tasks should move from essential information toward the implementation details. From the first lectures, I'm going to I just told you that each and every point, that essential information or the core part or the most important part or primary goal of the project, that should be a move first, that should be a done first, that should be a work with, you have to start. Okay, the requirement modeling begins by describing the problems from the end user perspectives. The end user, that is nothing but the real field worker, or he's going to use your software. According to his perspective, you have to work with your software. The essence of the problems is described without any considerations or how a solutions will be implemented. For example, video games require that the player instruct and is a protagonist on what directions to proceed you moves in the dangerous maze. Just taken an example. We just forget that example. Just note it in your mind that move from the essential to the non-essential. Okay, that is the hierarchy through which you can get achieve your goal. Okay, these are nothing but just five principles, and I think I we have already discussed each and every point in previous sections. Also, these are the five principles. So while we working with models, developing or modeling principles, just take we have to follow all the principles, or just keep in mind this point should be understood, or this point should be followed in while developing your modeling. Okay, I hope you understood each and every point. If any kind of problems or any points you not understood, please write a comment in your comment section, so that I can get back to that problems. Okay, have a nice day.